Merry meet everyone. Gypsy Willow here. So I'm going to do a video on the next two stones in the series, which is, I don't know if this will be your first video watching, but I'm doing the top 35 most popular stones. I have other videos posted, so this is the next two stones in the series, and it's emerald and Flourite. So we're going to start with emerald. Well, let me start first by saying I do not have emerald or Flourite to show you. So you can always look it up. Emerald is a green stone, and Flourite comes in different varieties and colors. I'll go through that because each color has different properties. So we will start with emerald, and I have my handy dandy notes. So keep track, because if you have watched my videos before, you know that I tend to go a little off topic. Okay, so emerald was traditionally used, well, it was said to protect against enchantment and the ploys of magicians, and it was used to foretell the future. Psychologically, it gives the strength of character to overcome the misfortunes of life, which we all have. No, there is not a single person on this planet that hasn't dealt with the misfortune of life. That is life, that's part of it. So it is a stone of regeneration and recovery and can heal negative emotions. It enhances the ability to enjoy life to the very fullest. It is also helpful in cases of claustrophobia. I don't know about any of you, but I do suffer from claustrophobia. It is not like I can go in an elevator and I can do things like that, but as far as like, for instance, MRI machines, they have to be open. Like I cannot go in the machine where it's like practically touching your nose. I freak out and I can't stay in there for longer than, half a second. The second the top of my head goes and I'm like, nope, done, all done, take me out. We don't need this test. Don't need it. So this stone can help with that. Emerald imparts mental clarity, strengthens memory, inspires a deep inner knowing, and broadens visions. It is a wisdom stone promoting discernment and truth and aiding eloquent expression. It helps bring to the surface what is unconsciously known. Now, we all have the answers. And I'm not saying that as in like for instance, teenagers, they have all the answers. They really don't, but they like to think that they do. That's about other things. We actually do really have the answers to our questions. We are all born with a sixth sense. You have to tap into it. You have to be able to open up your third eye. You have to be able to access the ability to use that gift. Everybody has the ability. Every single person. Now, I will say, people's gifts vary in how much they're able to see. There are some people that, they're wide open and they can see things, hear things, see what's going to happen. They're just incredibly gifted. And then there are people like me who I cannot speak to the other side. I do not have the ability to see a person who's passed on. I have had experience with the paranormal. I have seen things. I've seen spirit, but it's not like as if I can speak to them, or they're there longer than a second, or whatever the case may be. So I do have a gift. It's one that definitely needs to be worked with for me to access more of it. This stone is good for things like that. It is, we have the answers locked away in that part of our brains that deep in our subconscious we know. And in order to access that part of our brain, this stone is great for that. Especially when meditating with this stone, we can access those answers. So it is extremely beneficial to mutual understanding within a group of people, stimulating cooperation. Sometimes working with a group of people can be very difficult. After all, we are all very independent individuals. That's what makes us individuals, is that we're different. We're individual. Working with a group of people is not always easy because of the difference of opinion, the way our thought processes work. You know, there are some people that, you know, are just difficult, and they will say things just to be the opposite of you. This is true. So it is not always easy working in a group setting. It is very rare, actually, that you work with a group of people where you all have the same mindset and you all have, you know, you can all agree on one thing so easily. Not that, you know, disagreeing with, you know, within a group of people is a bad thing. It's really not a bad thing. I think it's great that people are different and that they can voice their opinion and feel comfortable doing so. You know, but this stone is great for just making that go a little bit smoother. It is also good for recovery. It aids in recovery after infectious illness. It treats sinuses, lungs, heart, spine, and muscles, and soothes the eyes. It improves vision and has a detoxifying effect on the liver. It alleviates rheumatism and diabetes. It has been used as an antidote to poisons. Worn around the neck, it was believed to ward off epilepsy. It's green ray, and when I say green ray, what that means, it doesn't mean that it gives off some kind of magical ray, but when you look at an emerald, it's a very deep green. And, you know, because it is a stone and a lot of times it's polished, you know, it has this shine, this shimmer, and that's what they mean by green ray. It can assist in healing of malignant conditions. So, like, for the health benefits, an elixir would be fantastic as far as, you know, the rheumatism, diabetes, you know, sinuses, lungs, heart, things like that. An elixir, or, you know, crystal water, gem water, however you want to call it, would be beneficial. Just use the indirect method to always be on the safe side, and, you know, you got yourself a powerful little antidote there. Do not wear constantly. If you have jewelry that has emerald, let's say if you have emerald earrings, emerald necklace, emerald ring, you do not want to wear it all the time. It can trigger negative emotions. Opaque emeralds are not suitable for mental attunement. So that's emerald, and now we're going to move on to fluorite. And as I said before, I'm going to give the basic rundown of fluorite, and then fluorite comes in different colors. So when I give you the basic description now, this applies to all fluorites. And then I will give an individual, I will go through each individual color because they have additional properties that separate from the rest of the colors. So fluorite is highly protective, especially on a psychic level. It cleanses and stabilizes the aura. It grounds and integrates spiritual energies. It heightens intuitive powers, making you more aware of higher spiritual realities, and can quicken spiritual awakening. This stone can overcome chaos and reorganize the physical, emotional, and mental bodies. Psychologically, it dissolves fixed patterns of behavior and gently opens the door to the subconscious, bringing suppressed feelings to the surface for resolution, which is huge. A lot of times, we don't even know. For instance, I'll give you an example. I'll actually use me as an example. When I was younger, I had a problem with shopping. I still love to shop, but I had a money issue. I'd like to spend money, more money than I had. And that's a problem because then you are always broke or always in the negative. And, you know, if you come to a point where you're like, why do I do these things? Even though I know that I'm going to be struggling at the end of the week, why do I continue to spend money? And this can be applied to, you know, a drug addiction, smoking, alcoholism. It can be really applied to anything. There are people who are addicted to sex. There are, you know, I mean, there really is a plethora of things that you could have a problem with. And for me, it was shopping. And then I realized you know, after really trying to figure this out, like what the real issue was. After doing some meditation and having some realizations during meditation, I came to the root of the problem. Now, don't get me wrong, I still love to shop. I do love to shop. It's like one of those things that it's like shopping therapy. However, after coming to the root of the problem and having them come up so I can resolve them, really has put me in a much better position than I was in, because now I have the ability to stop and say, do I really need this? Do I really need to buy this? Or am I just buying it to kind of fill a void? And it really helps me, and every time I do that, it kind of brings me a little bit more healing. It kind of brings me to a place, I can't say kind of, it does. And I heal every time I'm able to do that, because it's a win for me. I've recognized the pattern of behavior. I don't, buy it just to feel good. I put it back and I resolve my issue at that moment, and I'm able to walk out of the door with the things that I need and not the things that I want instead. So this stone is great for doing things like that and helping you overcome the things that kind of hold you back. So I just want to give a little story just to, we all have things sometimes that, we may not want to share with other people. I'm an open book, so I share everything. Sometimes I overshare, but that's okay. So it increases self-confidence and dexterity. It improves physical and mental coordination and counteracts mental disorders. Emotionally, it has a stabilizing effect. It helps you understand the effect of the mind and emotions of the body. In relationships, it teaches the importance of balance, which is key. No matter what relationship, because relationships are relationships. A relationship is not necessarily one between you and your boyfriend, you and your girlfriend, you and your husband or wife. This is a relationship between you and your child, a relationship between you and your friend, a relationship between you and your parents, siblings, uncles, aunts, whatever. A relationship is a relationship. It's different, but it's the same. And this teaches you the importance of balance. You cannot expect to have a perfect marriage. You cannot expect to have a perfect relationship with your mom, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, whatever. You definitely cannot expect to have a perfect relationship with your child. You love your child, you would die for them, but you are a parent. And so you have to discipline, and you have to lay down rules and, chores, and, there's responsibilities and things that you expect this child to do. Homework, and go to school, get good grades, come home at curfew. So they will be angry. There will be times that they will be angry. And you have to recognize the importance of balance. It is okay for them to be angry, and it is okay for you to not give in. It is important to not give in, because you are teaching them that when they get older, there are going to be rules. I mean, you have rules whether you're 2, 12, 22, 52. Life has rules. Your mother's going to tell them, or the law is going to tell them, or the job's going to tell them, and that's just how it is, and that's balance. Creating, there's going to be good times, there's going to be bad times, and that's what it is. You just have to learn how to balance everything. And it can be tough, but it can be done. Physically, it assists balance and coordination. It is a powerful healing tool, dealing with infections and disorders. It benefits the teeth, cells, and bones, and repairs DNA damage. It is a powerful against viruses, especially as an elixir. Remember, always use the indirect method, but if you're not going to use the indirect method and you're going to use the direct method, make sure you do your research first. If you get a stone that dissolves in water, or potentially has bacteria or minerals or certain things in the stone that could be deposited into the water, you could be harming yourself. So it's always best to do the indirect method, and it works just as well. So this is a really powerful stone to use as an elixir because it benefits you. It's very powerful. It benefits you greatly. It regenerates the skin and mucous membranes, particularly in the respiratory tract, and heals ulcers and wounds. It is beneficial for colds, flu, and sinusitis. Mobilizing joints, it alleviates arthritis, rheumatism, and spinal injuries. Stroked across the body towards the heart. Now, when I say that, I mean, if you're going to start your legs, you move up. You always want to move it towards the heart. So if you're going to go from your head, you want to move it down, from the arms to the side, always to the heart, from the legs up, from the back up. So you want to always move it in the direction towards the heart. It provides pain relief when you do this. It helps with the discomfort of shingles and other nerve-related pain. It also rekindles sexual libido. And this is where I'm going to go into the different colors and their attributes. Blue fluorite enhances creative, orderly thought and clear communication. It calms or revitalizes energy as needed for the physical or the biomagnetic bodies. It is effective for eye, nose, ear, and throat problems. It amplifies your healing potential by tightly focusing brain activity and can invoke spiritual awakening. That's blue fluorite. Now this is clear fluorite. Stimulates the crown chakra, energizes the aura, and harmonizes the intellect with the spirit. It aligns all the chakras, bringing universal energy into the physical body. This stone enhances the effect of other crystals during healing and can clear obscured vision. Next is green fluorite. This stone grounds excess energy, dissipates emotional trauma, and clears infections. It is particularly, it shouldn't be that difficult to say, particularly effective at absorbing negative energies within the environment. It brings information up from the subconscious mind and accesses intuition. It is an effective auric chakra and mental cleanser, dissipating obsolete conditioning. It relieves stomach disorders and cramp in the intestines. Next is violet and purple fluorite, which is a beautiful stone. I have so many stones. I have, I think, upwards of 80 stones, but I don't have these. And fluorite is like obviously one of the most popular stones to have since in this series. Violet and purple fluorite stimulates the third eye and imparts common sense to psychic communication. It is an excellent meditation stone, and it is useful in the treatment of bones and bone marrow diseases. Next is yellow fluorite. This enhances creativity and stabilizes group energy. It is particularly helpful for cooperation endeavors. It supports intellectual activities, and at a physical level, it releases toxins. It treats cholesterol and aids the liver. And the last one is yttrium fluorite. Now, yttrium is actually Y-T-T-R-I-N, but it's pronounced yttrium. This stone takes a slightly different form from the other fluorites and does not correct disorganization. It is, however, an effective healer. It is also a service-oriented stone. I don't get it. It is also a service-oriented stone. It attracts wealth and abundance, teaching the principles of manifestation, and it heightens mental activity. Sometimes, my mouth has a mind of its own. And I've said this in my videos before, and if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I'm not lying. Because my mouth decides when it wants to accentuate letters in a word that don't belong to being accentuated, or take a word and completely just switch up the letters and make it sound like complete nonsense and babbling. You know, because my mouth likes to make me look like a fool. But that's okay, I guess that's the fun in it, right? So that is today's video, and emerald and fluorite. And I will be doing a video probably in the next week. I don't have a lot of time because I do paint. So, and this is the busy time of year because Christmas is coming and I get slammed with orders, and I'm not complaining because, you know, when people buy paintings for me for Christmas, I'm able to provide a Christmas for my children. So I welcome orders with open arms. So I will try to do another video on the next 2 stones in the series. And I posted on my Facebook page, which is, if you want to join, feel free, all things Wicca and witchcraft. So please join my group on Facebook, and I have things on there like spells, and you know, I post these videos on there as well. But I had posted on there earlier today, after I do the top 35 stones, I'm going to give the stone videos a break, and then I'm going to go into the top 35 herbs. People, not everybody works with stones, where a lot more people work with herbs. Herbs are more readily available. You know, you can, you know, go to the grocery store for, let's say, allspice. You understand? You can do kitchen magic with herbs. You know, so I'm going to do a top 35 after I'm done with this series, which we still have a ways to go. But after the top 35 stones, I'm going to do a video, well, a series of videos on top 35 herbs. And I'll go in, those will probably be more detailed. There'll probably be 1 herb per video, because there's kitchen magic, there's, you know, not only is there medicinal purposes, but there's magical purposes. You can make poppets and sachets and all kinds of fun stuff. So after I do the crystal series, I'll be doing the herb series, and then after that I'll be revisiting the stones, and I'm going to go through, you know, some other ones that are not in the top 35, but I think are incredibly useful and important. So, well, I mean, they're all important, but you know what I'm saying, as I babble on some more. So, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.